A very good evening to the students. In the last video we have discussed the primary discussions that how to prepare a cash books, what are the mannerisms we need to follow to prepare a cash books in single columns and in double column. Now in this particular video we are going to talk about that suppose we have given a particular cash books in the exams, maybe in the double column, now it is written there in the double column, then how you guys prepare yourself or how you masters on the skills to prepare the cash book in double column. For that I kindly request you, please go through the video thoroughly, since because I would like to discuss all the internal points, nitty-gritty of the cash books in detail. I know if you observe the skills, if you observe the way we talk about, you will understand that how to prepare a cash books in double column. So first of all guys, in double column cash books we need to open, there are two particular accounts. You can see one is a cash account, another is a bank account. We have ledger folio in the debit side as well as particular and debt. Simultaneously we have a bank account and cash account in the credit side as well as ledger folio as well as date and particular. Okay, now suppose you have given some informations into the question. Look at the questions. There are some dates given in the chronological order: 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, 22, 25, 20 and 31s. So in this particular dates we have some transactions given one after one. The first, it is in cash in hand, then bank overdraft, goods purchased in cash, paid wages, cash sales, deposited into bank, sold goods for check was deposited into the bank in the same day, mentioned same day, paid rent by checks, due from bank for personal use and brought goods by check. The first point, cash in hand, it is the opening balance of cash. So I am writing in the 1st January balance BD amount is in the cash column. So you can see that opening balance of cash. Next, bank overdraft, it is also going to be put into the credit side balance BD on the same date 1st January. The amount is written into the credit side bank column. So usually student confuse why in the credit side bank column. I'm going to tell you, bank overdraft means you are going to start your account with a negative balance in your bank. It happens mostly in the current account, mostly sometimes even in the savings account too, that we have a negative bank balance. So we are going to starting the account with the credit side, putting the amount in the credit side to the bank column, my friend. Now point number 3, goods purchased for cash, amount rupees 1200. Good purchase, so basically good purchase is a kind of expenses. On the date 3 we are going to put the amount. Look at that, January 3 in the credit side. I told you in the last video, if you don't remember then please watch my last video. I talked about that any kind of expenses relating to the cash and bank columns, you always need to put it into the credit side. So look at that, good purchase rupees 1200, it is in the credit side and definitely it is in the cash column for cash book. Paid wages similarly in the credit side, it is also an expenses. Cash sales rupees 8000, cash sales, look at that, January 10 I'm going to write sales rupees 8000 in the cash columns. Why? Because cash sales is you earn revenue by selling your product and that is in the cash. So it is in the debit side since because this is an income. Next point, it is deposited into bank. My friend, I hope you remember that in the last video I talked about the contra entry and I told you there are two different types of contra entry usually happen. Number 1, once we deposited money into the bank, and number 2, once we withdraw money for official use from your bank or from the bank. Now here the first point we are given on January 15, we are depositing money into the bank. Look at that here in the January 15 we are writing in the debit side cash, in the ledger folio C for contra and the amount is in the bank column. Question is why bank column debit side? We always remember once you deposit money to the bank, so bank column, bank will actually increase with the amount. So obviously if anything increase with the amount, we will going to put it into the debit side. At the same time, on the same debt, look at that, in the credit side we are writing bank as well as C for contra, but this time we are writing the amount in the credit side into the cash column, rupees 6,000, because if you are depositing money, so definitely cash will reduce. At the same time, bank will increase. So actually we are putting to the money into the bank column. In the bank column debit side writing cash account, and cash column credit side writing bank account. That's why it is a contra entry, since because it is actually going to utilize both the account in the same time at the same date. Now next point is sold goods for check, means you are receiving your check which was deposited in the same date. I actually again I wanted to tell you guys, if you guys receive any check, or suppose if the company receive any check, another question, there are two questions arises. Let me show you, and you always remember that, don't forget it. Let me show you first. Say suppose I sell something, to Mr. X of rupees 10,000. Okay, and that day Mr. X paid the amount to me by check. So basically what happened, two conditions going to be arise that time. Mostly students got mistaken, not to understanding that particular things. Number one, if you receive any check on that particular date, and there is a conditions, now the same date if you deposit the check, same date if you deposit the check, same date. This is condition number one. And in condition number two, you deposit the check, but not in the same date, in any next day or any next time or next time period. Try to understand. Now what happened if you receive the check and deposit in the same date? Look at that. This question they have strongly and thoroughly mentioned. They received the check and deposited into the same day, bank same day, rupees 2,000. What happened? If you sell something and receive the check and deposit to the bank in the same date, so obviously date, sales, amount is in the bank column. Amount is in the bank column. My student, listen this is very carefully. Since because you received the check and deposit in the same date, so you are going to directly put the amount in the bank column. My friend, listen. Now, if you receive the check, but you deposit the check in any future date, so what? So what? In the same conditions, so what? At the first point, if you receive any check and deposit any future date, so first what happened? The date you receive the check, you have to write the amount in the bank column, in the cash column, sorry. In the cash column, the same amount what you receive. And in the next future date, suppose maybe in 23rd, if you deposit the same check into the bank, then you have to do a contra entry. You have to do a contra entry at the same we did at the time we deposit any money. So it will be cash and the amount will be going to be put into the bank. And the same time on the same date, like to date 23, it will be bank and the amount will be put into the cash column. If again I am going to tell you students, now here it's thoroughly mentioned that you receive the check and deposit it to the bank on the same day. That's why we directly put the amount into the bank column. Student, please try to understand why we put the amount into the bank column directly without having any other informations. Why? Because of that reasons, because it is given in the same date. But if you have given the instructions that you receive the money and then you deposit into the bank column any future date, the first date, once you receive the money you have to write it into the cash column, and the date you deposit the money you have to put it into the bank column. Almost done. The last point, due from bank for the personal use, you have to write it drawings on the date, and you are going to for writing the amount into the bank column, rupees 1,000 due from bank for the personal use, And then brought goods by check rupees 1000. Again, this is an expenses, so it is purchase rupees 1000. Now students, almost done, almost done, everything is done, almost everything is done. The final thing is to prepare the balance. So guys, the time we are preparing the balance, first you do the balance for the cash column, which is coming 11,500 in both the sides, and deducting by the credit side amount, it is coming balance 4,100. And the same point, again going to add the amount from the bank column, which is coming rupees 8,000 both the sides, and then you are deducting the all amount you have been posted into the credit side, and the final balance is coming 2,500. One thing I would like to tell you, that in a cash book, it can be possible the bank balance is again coming negative. Similarly, the way we start the account with a negative bank balance, it could be possible that we are finishing the account with having a negative bank balance. But the cash balance will never ever become negative, because you cannot doing more expense until and unless you have money with you. So usually cash balance always it will be having a debit balance, and in some cases we have bank balance which is having a credit balance. Now in this question, both the balance is coming debit balance 4,100 for the cash and 2,500 for the bank. Hope we able to make you understand. If you understand, then please copy the question or take the screenshot of the question, and please try to do and practice at your home. This is most similar questions what we have done. If you face any challenges to do, please write in the comment box, and I know if you really like this kind of videos, definitely you like, share and subscribe this particular video. Thank you very much. Wishing you happy day, good day. Love you everyone. Tata. Take care. Bye bye. So guys, if you enjoy the video,